Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another video on Python for Excel users. Uh, till now we have discussed creation of data frames using lists, using dictionaries, uh, importing data frames from CSV files, creating data frames using NUMPY arrays, and different methods of creating data frames in Python. We have also discussed creation of data frame, importing data frames from CSV files, and performing different functions on data frames, selecting columns, adding columns, performing mathematical options on columns, uh, adding. We also performed practical we practically performed some mathematical functions on data frames, which was students' performance, and we added a column of sum in that data frame using mathematical operation on it. We also added a column of average in that data frame, which has already been explained in previous video. Now we will proceed with value count method. Previously, we have used len data frame or len function and data frame column count function or method to get the number of rows in a data frame. Value counts method is another method of counting the number of rows in a column or a data frame, but like Excel, we perform subtotaling by column head. This feature also has, or value counts method also has an additional feature, that is, it can sum the number of rows by their categories or by their attribute or feature. For example, in the gender column, we have two genders, male and female. So we can use value counts method, sorry, to give the total of female counts and male counts in that column. Let's see how we can use this in Jupyter Notebook. So come to the Jupyter Notebook, and here how we'll be using this method. We will type the name of data frame, and then inside bracket we will type the name of the column which we want to perform the counting of rows, and then we will add value counts method so that the number of rows will be counted by its category in that column. So what is the name of the data frame here? Uh, the name of the data frame is students performance. When we run this, I should get the data frame. I think I will have to rerun some steps from the previous steps. Okay. I will have to go back to the step where I imported Panda and NumPy, and from that step I will have to rerun these steps one by one. So let me go back to that step here. Here I imported the Panda library and NumPy library. I will run this again, and every step I will rerun from that step. It will take some time, so let's bear it. Okay, loaded, and this is the data frame. So in previous lecture, I discussed that when we import a CSV file, a large CSV file, by default, it shows the first 5 and last 5 rows of the data set or data frame, and all the rows in between are shown with dotted line, that we cannot see them likewise. And in order to see them, we use the display max option, and it is also uh, performed in later step, which will be shown when step to get certain number of top rows, certain number of bottom rows, then the shape attribute to get the number of rows and column, and this is the display max uh, option, which defines the parameter to show the maximum number of rows in the data frame. So when I will run this, the option is set, and now when I will uh, call the data frame by using its name, I will get an scroll down option like this. So this is the scroll down option. Then we perform some function which I am just repeating from the step from which I imported Panda library and NumPy library. So I reran all the steps from the step where I imported Panda library and NumPy library, and now I got the data frame on which I want to apply value counts method to get the number of columns by its categories. And in the slide here, we have taken the column of gender to get the number of rows by gender, that is male and female. So let's do this. Write the same syntax which is shown here. The name of data frame, the name of column, and the value underscore counts method. So the name of data frame, then give a dot and no bracket, a square bracket, open a square bracket, give the name of the column which I want to count. Gender is spelling of gender, right? Okay, and this should be square, not curly bracket. Okay, and remove this, cut this, and paste inside the bracket, and then give a dot and value underscore counts method. And when we will run this, we will get this number of rows by its categories. This says that 518 rows contains female data and 482 rows contains male data. Or we can say that in our sample, there are 518 females and 482 males, which sums up to be 1000 observation. So this is the value counts method, which has an additional feature, that is it counts the number of rows by its category, and we can also get the uh, number in terms of percentage, and to do that we have to add an argument which is normalize is equals to true. When we will add this argument inside the parenthesis, we will get the count in terms of percentage or fraction. So add this argument, normalize is equals to true. Whether we give a space or not before and after is equals to, it doesn't matter. When we'll run this, we will get the answer in terms of fraction, or we can say that in terms of percentage. Uh, so this is another feature of value count method. Uh, we can also sort the data frame by using sort values method. Uh, but we give an argument and column names in order to sort the data. Uh, for example, if we want to sort the data by male and female, we can do this by using sort values. Or if we want to sort the data by race and ethnicity, we can also do that. So we can sort the data in any way. Before that, uh, before that, value counts method can also be used to give the counts of rows by, we can change the criteria from gender to race and ethnicity. For example, instead of gender, we want to count the rows by race and ethnicity. We can do that too. Race slash ethnicity. We should be careful of the spelling. The spelling should be same as column head, and run this. So we will get this as fraction. Uh, and if we remove this argument, we will get the number of rows like this. Grade C category contains 319 observation, grade D 262, grade B 190, grade E 140, grade A 89, and it should sum up to be 1000 observation, 1000 observation. So this is another utility of value counts method. Now let's come back to the sort underscore values method. And as I previously said, that we can sort a column by values in ascending or descending order, but we have to give an argument, and that argument should be the name of the column on which we want to perform the sort function. As shown here, we use the name of the data frame, then give a dot, use the sort values method, and in the parentheses we give argument by max score, which is the name of the column on which the sort function is applied. And when we apply this function, by default, uh, it arranges the data in that column in ascending order, that is from lowest value to greatest value. So let's do this. Uh, Type the name of the data frame, which is student's performance here. I copy this, give a dot, and then sort underscore values, sort underscore values method, and inside parentheses give an argument by is equals to the name of the column, and the name of the column is max score without a space, max score, and the name of the column is in quotes uh, because it's in string. Whether it be single quote or double quote, it doesn't matter. And when I will run this, uh, is there any spelling mistake in the function? Yes, give a dot. Uh, the okay, max score is not recognized, and I think there is a space, but there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be a space. Max score is spelling SCORE, max score, max score. Let me try the single quote then, but I think it won't change. There is something with math score. If I remove the space, it should also not matter. Let's give an space. Okay, there was an space in the name. Okay, so it arranged the maths score in ascending order, that is lowest score first and then lowest from greatest value, lowest value to greatest value. So it is by default arranged in ascending order. What if I want this sorted in descending order? To do so, I will have to add another argument inside the parenthesis, and in that argument, I will say that ascending should be false. That is, I will give a comma and then add an argument ascending is equals to false. By adding this argument inside the parenthesis, I will instruct the Python to sort this data in descending order. When ascending is false, it means it should be sorted in descending order. So let's do this. Just edit this, give a comma, and type ascending is equals to false. When I run this, the same column has been sorted in descending, that is the highest score first, and then moving to lowest score, from highest score to lowest score. So this was the sort values method, which is used to sort a data in a column in ascending or descending order, or in data in a data set in ascending or descending order. We can also perform sort function in multiple columns, and we can add more columns by using a square bracket method, or by using square brackets between the names of the column in the argument. And when we use a square bracket, we give comma to separate each column. So let's do this. Here we already have maths score. Let's add more column within this, and to do so, we have already typed the name of the data frame sort values method, and give a square bracket, in a square bracket, give the name of the column, close the square bracket, give a comma, and then another square bracket, and the name of the second column which I want to sort, and let's say it's art score, art underscore score. Then add another column, square bracket, and the name of the column, let's say reading score, reading score. That's it. When I run this, by default, it should give ascending order, but it's giving an error. It's giving me an error because the names of the column should be separated by comma, and it should be inside single square bracket, and it should work now. That's it. By default, it has arranged these three columns, that is maths score, art score, and reading score, in ascending order, that is from lowest value to greatest value. Maths score, art score, and reading score. These three columns are arranged in ascending order. And To get them in descending order, we will have to add an argument which is ascending is equals to false. And to add this, we will edit this, give a comma, and type ascending is equals to false. And now when I will run this, I will get these columns in descending order, that is from greatest value to lowest value. So this is the method to sort values of a column in ascending and descending order. And we can also keep this uh, sorting in place by using an argument in place, so that in future when we will just type the name of the data frame, we will get the data frame sorted in that order without performing any additional task to sort it. Or we can say that in order to keep that sorting in that data frame, we have to add an argument in place, uh, and when we add that argument and run, the data frame is saved with that sorting. And in future, when we will just use the name of the data frame to call the data frame, we will get the data frame in that order without performing any further sorting. So let's see. Uh, let's copy the same syntax instead of editing it further. Uh, let's copy this and then use the in place argument, give a comma, and write in place to save that sorting, and type in place is equals to true. This will keep that sorting in that data frame, and in future we will get that sorting just by typing the name of the data frame. Now run this, it's saved, and to get the result, we will now just type uh, the name of the data frame instead of whole method and argument, and when we will run this, we will get the same order. See, mass 100 first, 100, 100, 100, reading score, same order, art score, same order. So now the sorting is saved uh, in that order, and in future we can get that order just by calling the name of the data frame as we got there. So this is the in place method to keep the sorting in the data frame for future usage. So this was the in place method to keep the sorting. Uh, we can also sort values of other columns in different methods or different order. As we have used the ascending is equals to false method to get the data in descending order and kept that in place. Uh, we can also perform sorting with strings in a data frame. By string, we mean to say that we can sort a column in alphabetical order. A column which contains string values can be arranged in alphabetical order by using the same sort underscore values method. Uh, and let's see how we can do this in Python. So we will type the name of the data frame, use the sort values method, and then we will give the name of the column on which we want to perform the sorting, and then we will see what happens. So just copy the syntax from above, the name of the data frame, sort underscore values method, and then the name of the column on which sorting is intended to be performed. And let's use the race and ethnicity column to perform the sorting by group in ascending order or descending order, whichever we want, and copy the name of the column. And let's run this. When we run this, uh, we get the sorting here. By default, it has sorted the race and ethnicity column in ascending order. If we want this to be sorted in descending order, we can add an argument. Ascending is equals to false. And when we will run this, it's arranged in descending order. That is, group E first, then B, then C, then B, then A. So the sort values method can also be applied to strings or text to arrange them in alphabetical order, whether ascending alphabetical order or descending alphabetical order. And to do so, uh, to sort in the, by default, it sorts the column in ascending order, and to get the result in descending order, we have to add an argument that is ascending is equals to false. And when we add this argument, the alphabetical column is sorted in descending order. So this was the sort method, sort values method, that can also be applied on strings. One thing that should be noted when applying the sort values method on a column which contains a string is that there can be instances in which the case of the data may not be consistent, which means that in some column group starts with small g, and in some rows groups starts with capital G. So in order to apply sort values method irrespective of the case of the string, uh, we have to add further arguments, uh, which would be key is equals to lambda, which is used to ignore the case of the data and unify the case of the data. And after that, we will specify the column string, and we will say that we want all the strings in uppercase or lowercase, whichever we want. So we will specify the column and then the case of the data in which we want the output of the column. So here there is no such instances, so we won't be noting any difference. But for the sake of applying the method, let's apply this method and add further arguments, which is lambda key. So just copy the same syntax, and after the argument ascending is equals to false, give a column, give a comma, and uh, to identify it separately from this, let's break the line and use key is equals to lambda, give a space, and then column string, column string, column to separate it, then column dot string, and the case I want. and that case be, let's say, upper. I want uppercase and parenthesis. So now run this and I should get the uppercase, but there is no such instances, so it's not showing any difference from the above data whether I use upper or whether I use lower. There is no difference because there were no such instances where the case of the string was inconsistent. So we did not note any difference in the results, but for the sake of applying it, we just applied it. So this was the method to ignore the case of the strings where the strings are not, the case of the strings are not consistent. So this was our video for today. In this video, we just saw some sorting functions and filtering functions and used value count method and sort values method, and learned different ways of using sort values method on numeric data and string data. That's all for today. Thanks for watching the video. Allah Hafiz.